Hello, my name is Miguel Andrade, and this is the presentation of my image argument for my class of English 1102. And the subject I'm going to talk about is why hate crimes are still present today. First of all, what are hate crimes? Well, according to the FBI page, they're considered a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias against their race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. And also we can add that the most common cases where we can relate this type of crimes are the ones involving vandalism, harassment, or even murder. This graph shows the number of crimes from the past decade, which shows they were high almost at the end of 2000s, but that number started to decrease from 2008 until 2014. But from 2015, the number started to increase again. And also in this graph, it shows the percentage of these crimes where the majority are the ones which are motivated by a person's race, ethnicity, or ancestry. Well, with these facts, we can say that first, these type of crimes are increasing. The number of these crimes are increasing over time. Second, it started to be common to hear these type of crimes nowadays. And third, and more important, is that they're showing no sign that they're going to stop soon or in the future, unless we try to educate better our generation about how wrong these crimes are in this hatred, especially by focusing with the following terms. First of all, we have stereotype, which according to the Merriam-Webster website is a standardized mental picture that is held in common by members of a group and that represents an oversimplified opinion, prejudice, attitude, or uncritical judgment. So, in other words, is when we identify someone based on their looks or from what we hear about that person. This type of thinking is common to hear from hate groups who are existing today, like for example the KKK or the neo-Nazi movement, which they believe that the white is the prominent race and that the other races are a burden for society. The next term that we have is implicit bias, which according to the website of Perception Institute, this term is used to describe when we have attitudes toward people or associate stereotypes with them without our conscious knowledge. So it's describing the way we think or behave subconsciously towards a person for a certain race. And also it's very interesting to hear many experts who says that the implicit bias test is a very useful way to identify this type of racist behaviors, especially from the ones who consider themselves not racist. Next one we have racism. Racism. There are many definitions about this term. Like for example, in ADL.org is the marginalization or oppression of people of color based on a socially constructed racial hierarchy that privileges white people. But also in Britannica's website is the belief that humans may be divided into separate and exclusive biological entities called races. So while there are many ways to define this term, they're usually describing the way white people are treating the other races with an air of superiority, how they're separated based on their color of the skin, and how they stereotype them. Like for example, blacks are criminals, and Muslim or Middle Eastern people are terrorists, or what is happening right now with the pandemic against the Asian community, especially the Chinese from this COVID-19, where they believe that they originated the virus and they are spreading it. So that's why these crimes have become common nowadays, especially against the Asian community. And finally, we have segregation, which according to Britannica's website is defined as a separation of groups of people with differing characteristics, often taken to connote a condition of inequality. A good example of this can be seen in the picture that I provided, where in the past schools, restrooms, or even water filters were separated for people of color and for white people. And also is the reason that and also is the reason for this type of crime because many who grown in this type of environment believe that it was normal. They believe that it was normal this type of treatment against the colored people, and they try to repeat it in the current times, which is the wrong part. So, in conclusion, these type of behaviors are damaging our society and are creating a world where violence and hatred is frequent. So that's why it is important to stop practicing hate and educate the youth the right way to treat others. So in the end we can create a harmonious world. Uh, these are the links of the images that I use for my presentation, and also the links of the pages where I cite my definitions. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good day.